Hey, what's going on, fellow money lovers? It's been a few days since I made a video, so sorry about that. Been out and about and busy, but I do have a good mix of, well, a bunch of ones. I'm far less rich than what it seems by the thickness of the stack. It's a ton of ones, but a mix of some other bills. Let's go through them and see if we can find anything that's, well, at least collectible, but hopefully valuable, and I'll kind of run you through what you should look for. So let's start right off, Series 2021. Nothing's changed with ones in like 70 years, so nothing to talk about graphics-wise. Some 2s, some 4s, nothing in the serial number. Looking for shifted prints, ink issues, fancy serial numbers, kind of variety banknotes from older series or funky series. I do have a video I'm putting together with errors and issues you can find on reverses of banknotes. A few of you have asked about that because I mentioned stuff with it, but I find far less stuff with reverses than I do with serial numbers and like obverse ink issues. I think because the serial numbers and the seals are printed on the front in an intaglio process, there's just more kind of ways that errors can crop up and ink issues and things like that. Anyway, I'll stop yapping, but just to address some questions from you guys, because I don't want you guys to think I'm not, hearing you. So, beat up $1 note. Don't get confused with this stuff. This is all from it being wet and then folded up and crinkled up. 2021 series also, B series. Keep an eye out for B series star notes. Those are duplicates sometimes. Not all of them, but there is a large run of them that are duplicates. Also star notes in general. And then fancy serial numbers, of course, are always going to garner a good premium over face value. Lots of 2021. One-eyed Washington. He's almost completely beat up there. Nothing crazy going on yet. Things to look for on the back of the note. Of course, around intricate detail points. The video will cover kind of some major and minor errors. So major ink errors, and then stuff that's things you'll actually come across a little more commonly that are kind of more minor. But for example, we'll turn $1 into like the $5 to $20 region, which is still pretty awesome for a premium. Yeah, like missing one digit away from a broken ladder there. J for good old Kansas City. Used to live in Leavenworth, Kansas, probably the most depressing military base I've ever lived by or on. It is the home of the Leavenworth prison for the military. So if you can just put that together. The other crazy thing is from like 70% of the town, you can see the prison. So, and then if it's still there, it's been like 20 years since I've been there. It's just like a buffalo preserve and then a prison. So very, very weird. This is interesting. Now this looks kind of like damage to the back of the note. But it's something to keep an eye out for. This is going to most likely be damaged from where it sits on that fold there. But if you do come across something with actual missing ink, that can be worth really, really good money depending on how dramatic it is, how much ink is missing, or a lack of ink error. Those can be worth good money. Kind of neat. Keep it almost, I was like, oh man, it's a radar note, but I can't read apparently. But it would have been cool if it was 7-5 and then 5-7 on the end like it is, and then something that repeated in the middle, so you could read it from forward to backward, backward to forward. Those can get a pretty good premium. A little bit of wet ink transfer. And nothing jumping out. Little crazy print here on this 8 and 9. You can see without me pulling it closer to the camera that it's kind of funky. And nothing going on there. Keep an eye out around little prints too, your plate numbers and stuff like that on the front and back of U.S. banknotes. You can get some print issues with those, especially with ink. 2017 A series. Lots of star notes to look for in there too. And nothing too crazy. For a second I thought maybe we had an ink issue, but it's more that kind of excess of ink coming through from the front there, Washington's coat. And 2017 A series as well. Much better condition than the other banknotes we've come across. Normally we get pretty jacked up stuff, so I'm not really too surprised. Nice fold in the middle, though. This is a little ballpoint pen, so... Hey, I do have a $20 bill. 2004 series, so a bit older. $20 notes in the early 2000s went through a redesign. I think the 2003 or 4 was when they redesigned them for anti-counterfeiting measures. They're going to be putting out new $20 notes here in the next few years. 10s are the first ones next year. I'll cover all that stuff in videos, because knowing the BEP, they're going to pump out a bunch of errors for us collectors and some valuable stuff when they try to put out a new design. So I'm looking forward to that. And we're visiting Washington in the beginning of May for Jess's graduation from master's degree program, and my birthday is in the beginning of May. We're going on the BEP tour. I just reserved oh my gosh. And is it? Yes. Spoken into existence as far as Star Notes. So beat up. There's already a free little booger going on there. But this is awesome. A nice B-Series 2013 Star Note. To finish my previous thought, even if you care, or if you care at all, we're going to Washington, D.C. I'm going to get video of the BEP processes to include our money being made, which brings me to this. When there is something that gets jacked up on a bill during production, the classic way of replacing it is with a replacement note or a Star Note. These are going to get more valuable over time, especially ones like this. And I believe this run of serial numbers within the 2013 B series is a duplicate Star Note. I'll look it up and confirm that, but I'm almost positive. The great thing about Star Notes in general is they're really collectible. Even though this one's a little bit beat up and probably just worth $1 right now, it being a B series and a duplicate Star Note, which I'll explain more in a second, it can make it really, really valuable. Now, the likelihood of me finding the counterpart to this duplicate is really, really slim, since I think there's less than like 20 pairs that have actually been confirmed. But basically the BEP messed up, and they printed the same serial numbers twice across 2 different sets of notes, making duplicates. And that's this B series from 2013. So if you come across one of these can be worth a lot of money. I'm definitely holding on to this one. I'll look it up in a serial number kind of lookup tool, get a little more info on it and put it in the description box. But this is really great. Nothing crazy going on the back, though, other than some damage. Like I said, we got ourselves, one free little ballpoint pen booger. But I'm loving me some Star Notes lately. I've been getting good luck coming across them, and that one's a really nice one. Let's move on. Whoa, sticking to my hand. Something we don't see too often. Really good condition notes. And, what? 2 of them in a row. Well, not in a row, but 2 of them in a row as far as physically. Now, they aren't far off as far as serial number, so, they're in the same series. They are 2017 A Series $10 notes. Newer design as of the early 2000s, but the first bill that they're going to redesign and put out prospectively next year, but in the next year or 2. So they're doing it mainly for anti-counterfeiting measures for the $10 note. I'll cover a bunch of stuff with that, but one feature I think is really, really cool is they're going to be incorporating better tactile functions on U.S. currency for the visually impaired, which I think is so cool, just to make it easy across to, for everybody. Anyway, as far as bills in order, like sequential order, unless you got a ton of them and they're Star Notes, I wouldn't call that collectible. I get asked about that a lot. And on backs of $10 notes around the U.S. Treasury depiction, this would be a good reverse to look for ink issues around the intricate detail. Nothing on that bad boy, though. Some 3s on this one as well. Starts with a 1-3, ends with 3-1, which is kind of cool. Bookends. Really good condition. These ones are nice and crispy. Normally, I get those ones that somebody, put in dog water first and then hand it to me. So, nothing on those. 2021 series, a little bit of a fold here. Nothing in the serial number. Aside from the fold, not bad condition. Worth a good $1, I can assure you that. And nothing on the reverse. We're getting down there. We got a few to go, though. 2013 series, also B for New York, but not a star note. Other than that, nothing jumping out. Little bit of stray ink, but not dramatic enough for me to hold on to. And nothing on the back. No design changes with ones. Like I said, for many, many years. They added In God We Trust in the late 50s, early 60s. But aside from that, they didn't really, they haven't done anything else design-wise. And they're not on the docket, along with 2s, to be redesigned with the rest of the notes over the next, 20 years. Nothing going on there. Love 5. No, I love the 5s. I like the redesign of the 5. I like the eagle with the shield that they kind of did in the background there. It's probably one of my favorite redesigns. But let me know in the comments what yours is. Nothing jumping out there. Another $10 bill. I had more money than I thought. Hey, it's all going to go to bills, but, hey. A little discoloration from water, so don't be confused by that. 2013 beat up, so it'd be hard to tell if anything was collectible with the ink here. Serial number wise, it is shifted slightly a hair up. You can see it in the seal here too. But not enough for me to call home about. Back of the note. Ripped up, missing a bunch of ink. I would say from damage, it's all floppy from being wet and dried out a bunch of times. So not one I'm going to hold on to. And 2021 series, a lot better condition than that previous one. Little bit of excess ink here. It's just from where they kind of re-ink everything, and then they lay down the picture of Washington there, and it kind of bleeds through. So unless it's really dramatic, I wouldn't call it collectible. Keep an eye out for issues with the seal. This is not one, but just where this damage is kind of made me think about it. But, where the lettering is in the seals and around here, you can get ink bleed around it that'll kind of make them obscured. If it's dramatic, as in it's kind of making it blob-like, you could be sitting on some good money. Lots of 5s. Nothing going on there. Yeah, a little more damage going on. This is also from the teeth of the money counting machine at the bank, so. 2017A. Better condition for sure. This one's probably the nicest, one of the nicest ones we've come across in this bill search. Thanks for sticking with me. I know we're like 12, 13 minutes into the video, but I'm having a good time. Found some good stuff. This is weird. This looks like... What does this look like? To me, if I had to guess, it looks like the face of a larger denomination note with a security strip, and it was put face to face with this and they got wet, but I don't know. It's a very odd kind of ink issue, but it almost looks like damage to me. I don't know. That's a weird one. Let me know what you think about that one. Weird. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to look better at it. Take a better look at it through my scope on my computer and see if I can find anything out. Hey, we're only like a digit or two away from a broken ladder in this one. We found one of those not long ago. That was a good bill search also. Getting down there, last 3. We got some 8s, we got some 2s, but nothing in a pattern enough for me to hold on to in the serial number. More of that, see, that's why I'm thinking this is just... At first, well, it's totally different. I mean, look how heavy this is and uniform this is versus this, but there's no telling this being a 2017 bill. It's had plenty of time, so again, I guess I'll just have to wait, take a look. Nothing going on there except for a nice match burn mark or something. $10 note and a $5 note. Keep an eye out around the color-changing ink and the torch and the 10 on $10 notes, as well as the other denominations. Sometimes you can get issues like contaminated inkwell issues and print issues and stuff. Nothing going on there. Last but not least, 5 doll hairs, Series 2006, so the early part of the redesign. I think it was 2003 for 5s also. But anyhow, they're coming out with those here in a few years as well, redesigned, since they're heavily counterfeited. Nothing crazy going on. Keep an eye out around the repetitious 5s and on other notes that have the repetitious numbers here. They'll be the same denomination as the note itself, and they do a thing called Urian. It's like a little constellation looking thing for counterfeiting measures or anti-counterfeiting measures, and sometimes funky print can happen with that. I'll cover that in my video coming up in about a week or a few days, a week, 4 days, 5, whatever, that covers things with reverses of notes to keep an eye out for, but nothing there. So what are we holding on to? Lesser fine that I'm not sure if it's even anything. I'll take a closer look at it. I'll let you know in the comments and or description what the dealio is with this weird blob here. But let me know your guesses in the comments. Big find, although beat up, although we got some free schmudgel here, although it's folded up and got some dirt on it and it's funky looking, I'm going to flatten it out a bit and get it in a top loader to protect it. But this is a duplicate star note. Like I mentioned before, there was an error and the BEP produced a bunch of star notes from the B series, 2013 B series, that duplicated the star serial numbers on them. They are great to collect. And there's a website that you can take yours to, your serial number, and see if you can find the pair. So if I'm able to find the pair down the road, I'd be sitting on good money. I think a pair sold for close to like $3 or $4 grand only a year or so ago. They've had other pairs sell for the thousands, so they're really worth good money, but it's really, really rare to find the other duplicate that coincides with this one. But I love star notes, so I'm holding on to it. Let me know if you would too, and let me know what you're coming across in your coin, banknote, and collectible searches in the comments. I love reading that. So I will see you there, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.